Thank you, Sudandra, for having me. Great. I've heard so much about you, all the things you are doing. And from there, in '98, I actually ended up at Harvard Medical School as a faculty in orthopedic surgery.
So, for you, in your opinion, how do you define passion? Is it something we discover over time, or is it something we inheritedly know?
I can be passionate about many things, but if I don't practice and work hard at it, I don't know if it means anything.
Many engineering students feel like they are caught in a race, pursuing a degree without knowing if they truly love or not.
I had not seen my engineering degree for like 10 years after I graduated. I think at Harvard, oh, we need your degrees. And I'm like, where is my degree?
Hey everyone, and welcome to this session. This session is special for me at least because I am with the personality I am so fascinated with. Our ex-dean, Mr. Arun sir, and the whole session is just based on the topic how to find your passion. Thank you so much, Arun sir, having this session with me, and thank you so much for accepting the invite.
Thank you, Sudandra, for having me. Great. I've heard so much about you, all the things you are doing. Wish you all the best. And I'm always glad to talk. I love engaging with students, and if there's any opportunity to do that, I will continue to do that. So great.
Sure.
Thank you for having me.
So, we will proceed this podcast with your introduction, your journey into academia, and can you share your journey in academia? I heard one thing, and I have read that you started your career in education with Harvard University. You're 17 years from 1998 to 27, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, yes. That was not my starting. That was in the middle. So I started actually at MIT Manipal as an electrical engineer. Then I got my MS in bioengineering in the US and a PhD. And then I went to the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine because I'm really interested in medical engineering, medical sciences. I did a minor in immunology and everything for my PhD. My PhD work was all on orthopedics. So I ended up as an orthopedic faculty at Pittsburgh. And from there in '98, I actually ended up at Harvard Medical School as a faculty in orthopedic surgery.
Mhm.
My job was primarily to do help research and do teaching of residents, orthopedic surgery residents and students. We had labs, we had fellows from all around the world. And that's where I became really interested in teaching, academics, working with students, and all those other things. It was a wonderful experience and just loved it. And I think that gave me an opportunity to really think deeply about different things which matter most to us.
Mhm.
Work very carefully, work hard, meet and interact with some of the greatest minds on the planet. Some great people at Jaipur as the dean of engineering, which is again another fantastic experience. And that's where I met you. So
Yeah, I knew sir, you entered with us in 2020, 2022.
yes.
And
22, yes.
yes, sir, we entered in that batch. I'm in third year right now. So this session is all about broadened about the passion. So for you, in your opinion, how do you define passion? Is it something we discover over time, or is it something we inheritedly know?
Uh, I think if you think about inherently knowing, we know many things, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I want to go play soccer, or I want to do this, or I want to read this, I want to become a astronomer, I want to do this. But I think you may know many things, or you may feel that you are good at many different things, 5, 10 different things. But you have to practice it also. You
Mhm.
have to delve into it, right? And once you delve into it, you may realize, you know what, this is not that great. I'm not that good in tennis. Maybe I should do something else. Maybe I'm not that good in sprinting, but I'm good in long distance. So you
Mhm.
find where your niche is, and the more you practice, that's when you realize, okay, this is what I'm really interested in, what I'm very passionate about. It's like sharpening the pencil. You may have a general idea, but you still have to focus further and further and further. So
Mhm.
I knew I was interested in medicine, and then I went a little bit into cardiovascular, artificial hearts. But then, I felt it was too competitive. Then I moved to orthopedics, and then as I got into it, I realized, wow, I really like it. And that's how I became more passionate. So I think it's a combination of both. You have many things in you, but you have to put in the effort. You have to work harder. You have to give it the time to develop whatever it is you want to be good at.
Mhm.
The thing about passion is you assume that you're going to be very good at it, and that only comes from practice.
Yeah.
I can be passionate about many things, but if I don't practice and work hard at it, I don't know if it means anything. So passion is definitely important. If you are not passionate, you will never be good at anything.
For me, when it comes to passion, it's something that drives you daily. It's something that gives you reason to live your life. And in
Correct.
our college, these years getting so bad in sense to be rat race. Many engineering students feel like they are caught in a race, pursuing a degree without knowing if they truly love or not. So, why do you think this happens? And what advice would you give to students who feel stuck?
Okay, so I would first take the first part of your point. I agree with you. Passion is something, you get up in the morning, you're like, I'm excited.
Yeah,
I want to get up early. I want to do it, right?
absolutely.
And even in the night, you may miss your lunch or chai or whatever because you're doing something you love to do. You're very passionate about. So that's a clear sign that you're very passionate about it. So, right. On the other side, you do things which are like, oh my God, I have to do this test, this assignment, this, that, and that, and that. So I think that's the opposite of passion. I don't know what to call it. That's the opposite of passion. So the second part of your question is about engineering students particularly, and they don't feel as passionate about the work they are doing or the studies they are undertaking. And I think there are multiple reasons for that. I agree with you first.
Hmm.
That is true. Even as a dean, we had so many students coming to me. Even before that, when I was in innovation, people did not find a lot of value in sitting down in a classroom and having a professor read from some notes,
Hmm.
right?
Agree.
So there was no value in it. I mean, and they're just saying it not even in a very good way or something. So professors have a difficult time. Maybe they're training. I don't know how to say that, but they don't know how to engage a classroom. I
Yeah.
feel. So I think the challenge number one is, first you are in engineering. So the good part is you are in engineering. It's a vast field, and you have to find your passion in it. Second, we need good teachers. I mean, I'm not talking about Manipal in specific. I think all over India, it's very challenging to find good, inspiring teachers.
Yeah.
I think that is the key because you can, I can sit in any boring topic, say statistics,
Hmm.
as long as the speaker is very passionate about and just gives me great examples, I would be like, oh my God, I love this field,
Yeah.
right? So it is not the topic; it is the presenter, the teacher, the person who's going to explain to you. And I think that person has a great responsibility. And in our educational system, a professor is very important to do that. And I think, unfortunately, we don't have, great teachers need to show passion also, right?
Hmm.
Because when I teach with passion, like
Yeah.
because I believe that I don't need to read notes or nothing. I don't need to prepare a whole lot or anything, but because it's coming from inside a lot of the experience and you talk about it. And unfortunately, I don't know if many of the professors nowadays, I think for them it's a job. Maybe it's like a government job. You go and then you show your PPT and then you come back.
Yeah.
So I think that is a part of it. So the students are obviously, they don't know anything better, and now they're seeing this type of attitude. They can sense. Students are very good at sensing. Is the professor, number one, good at what he's doing? Number two, is he passionate about what he's teaching? I would urge the students to find their own way of building that passion.
Okay.
Okay. So you can't change a professor.
Yeah.
Okay, so but the topics are amazing nowadays. Students are so lucky. You can go to MIT online.
Yeah.
They have all these open courseware. There are Coursera. You can take Coursera
Hmm.
courses. edX is there. So many topics. You can, if you are in AIML, you can go listen to Andrew Negg. You can listen to Sam Altman. You can listen to all these great people and build your own passion.
Absolutely, sir.
Find your own sunshines and find your own passion within that field you want to do. I started out as electrical engineering, but my interest was actually in medical stuff. So I went to the KMC library, that was a medical library. I studied everything on my own. All the vacation time I spent in the library studying physiology, biochemistry, anatomy, which is not taught in electrical engineering. I did my own research on lasers in medicine, on pacemaker. That was my thesis about. So it was became my pursuit. Look, your classroom is only 20 hours a week,
Yeah.
approximately 20, 21, 22. What are you doing the rest of the time?
I understand, sir.
Right? Look at you. I mean, I commend you. You are doing something which you are passionate about, right?
Absolutely.
You have a lab today, but you are saying, okay, I'm going to all do arrangement, all of this. You set up the time, and so you have committed. You're putting all this extra effort to do something which you feel brings value to you. So I think students, I would say, it is good. So even in the engineering curriculum, we really worked very hard to keep it at 40 hours a year. So that's 20 hours per semester. Now, of course, each semester it's a little bit plus or minus a little bit, but overall it's 160 credits. You are in the third year, so you may be in the old scheme, but the second years are already in the. Are you in the new curriculum or you have the old curriculum? Swatantra?
Uh, I think we are in the new curriculum of Manipal.
Okay, you're in the new curriculum. So you only have 20 hours, plus or minus,
Yeah,
and then you have so many extra credits for innovation projects or research
yeah,
projects. So
we have.
those were intentionally put there to help you explore the things you may be passionate
Yeah,
about.
got it, sir.
Does that make sense? I
Yes,
hope,
sir.
that was
Yes, sir.
useful.
You proved me right that I came to the perfect person to having a talk on passion. And I want to come back to the two topics. One, the online courses. Yes, sir, in my free time, I had two or three online classes from MIT. They open courses. There's one open course is how to speak. He's the professor of MIT something. What a wonderful session, sir. I wonder how I can find these type of professors in our college, and then it proved me wrong. Yes, sir, you talked very rightly on the role of co-curriculum. The curriculum, sorry. Sir, how do you think the current engineering curriculum contribute to or decade from our student finding passion? What change do you believe could help students to explore their interest more deeply in our curriculum in the present? And one additional question, how was your time at Harvard? Because me myself feel and felt that abroad universities have a kind of more deep and practicality curriculum for students. That's not in India.
That's true. So let me just talk about the Harvard experience. It was amazing experience, particularly being with the faculty there. The students are exceptionally bright. Even the faculty is exceptionally bright, and everybody is
Yeah,
committed. Okay, and I feel one thing I've learned from Harvard is the curriculum less is more. So, in India, many smaller colleges, I mean, I won't take any names, I went to some programs, they have 6 days a week classes from 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock.
absolutely.
I'm like, are you crazy? You are just killing. And this is at the postgraduate level.
Again, the red
So, what
race.
are you doing? I mean, yes. So I always felt less is more. Even in Harvard, MIT, Princeton, many of the top colleges in India, the undergraduate curriculum, engineering, is only 125 to 130, about maximum 130, 32 credits total for 4 years. We have come down to 160 based on AICT regulations, which was less than 172 was before and less than 180 before that. So we are now at 160. So I believe, and in Harvard we see that less is more. The, the idea is we should be guides for our students. We should help them understand where the motivations are and point them to the right information. Information is cheap nowadays. You said all these online courses are there. Everything is available. Information is cheap. Why is any regular professor teaching a topic which he may not be good at? He
Yes.
should just point to the world expert in that topic, say, let's look at this, and if you don't understand, I will explain. So I think the professor's role nowadays, particularly in India, should be that. There's this great Harvard professor, MIT professor, Princeton professor talking on this topic, this great lecture. Why will I spend my time giving you a not very good lecture on the same topic? I'll say, look at this, but I will help you explain. I will help you understand. I will give you some examples. There's something which you don't understand, I will explain. So the professor, teacher, mentor is the intermediary, I feel, nowadays, and they should be the guide. Now that this information is here, how do I help my students apply that information in the local context and build something? Create something, go forward with it, or apply it in a different field. And I think that is the role. So the professor. So that was what we do at Harvard. So of course, some of the people are great. The whoever you get to give any lecture on any topic is definitely the world's expert in that topic. But one thing everybody realizes even there is just because we're student as ours, it doesn't mean we need to fill the whole day and night with information. To give the students the free time to explore. So in our curriculum, like I said, we at what we did in engineering, they have restricted it to 160 hours. And for you and many other students, I'm sure you know it, we have kept many open electives. Now, I don't know if those are removed. I think they're
Yes, sir.
still there. The idea for the open electives was for you to find your own passion. You could say, I'm interested in fintech. I'm interested in clinical psychology. There's no reason why you could not go take a class in clinical psychology in your current curriculum in India, here,
Yes, sir.
right? You could go take a course and actually get a minor. We have 5 open electives available for students from the second, third year, and the
Yes.
fourth year, and even some in the fourth semester, I think, starting onwards. So that was the key part, and I think you see that in international programs like Harvard, MIT, many of the good Western programs, is they give the students the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to explore the other field, the liberal education, particularly in engineering. If you're in
Mm-hmm.
engineering, go find something else. So I studied engineering, of course. I went to material science, bioengineering, but I took courses in immunology and microbiology and biochemistry in the School of Sciences. So that's what kindles my passion in those areas, right? So I think, and then you went and took a course on how to speak at MIT. So see, communication is a very important topic, and you went and did that on your own.
Absolutely, sir.
So that is your motivation, right? So you did a great job.
Thank you, sir.
So what we have done in our curriculum is, and I'm not saying it is perfect. We need to do more. That was I would call it the first draft, right? So what we have done was, okay, our students should number one go and get courses from outside engineering, whatever they want.
Yes,
Now, unfortunately, there may not be good faculty or teachers who are teaching great courses in all these other topics, but the framework is there. And even within engineering, we had said, other than the core courses, all these program electives, you can take it from any department. You don't have to stick to your own department.
yes, sir.
But now professors are saying, if you don't take my course, how will you need to be this and that, and so there is some of that tension is there.
Yes,
But the curriculum was created. If you look at how it was developed, was to give the students that openness, and I think that is the key part. Don't force the students to do many things. Teach them the bare minimum essentials they need, and then let them craft their own curriculum. Let them build on these blocks what they are interested in, rather than prescribing, you need to start at 9 o'clock till 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and in series of classes and like non-stop you sit and you listen. It's not going to work. And the second part, I think one part which you highlighted is that we do have in India in generally, there's an experiential learning part is kind of missing. We understand the concepts, but our faculty, we do, our universities, our academic institutions do not spend a lot of time on applying those concepts to solving real world
mm-hmm.
problems. That gap is kind of missing, sort of. And I can see why some of the students feel like frustrated that I'm just learning the same thing from the same book, which is like 60 years old.
Absolutely, sir. We don't understand and we get it wrong that wisdom is the highest level of knowledge and information. Sometimes we just get it wrong.
Yes.
So, there's one more important topic and sector when it comes to students, my juniors and my seniors, and at least my mates, that balancing passion and practicality. How can students strike a balance between following their passion and participating of securing a stable career, especially in the field of engineering, because engineers are passionate, but they are not able to find their own passion.
So I have heard many different people saying follow your passion, right? But I think the practical part is correct. Even Narayan Murthy, if he talks about following your passion, many people talk following your passion. But if you see how what they did when they were younger, they did run of the mill things, basic coding, whatever they had, whatever. 70 hours, 90 hours a week they spent doing the boring work, the mundane work. It is not always the fancy work. It is that hard work which is boring. Sometimes you have to do. And I won't talk about in education. I'll just give you the example about a marathon. I'm running a marathon. I run marathons. I've run a lot of marathons, and now I'm not running marathons, but I'm still running. And a marathon is a very long time. It takes 1 year of training for the marathon, and before that, you need 2, 3 years of good, solid, consistent running. And people would always come to me and say, "Sir, I want to run a marathon." I say, "Sure. Can you run 5K?" And they would say, "No." I say, "Okay, first let's run 5K." But 5K is boring. I want to run a marathon. I say, I understand that. But if you can't run a 5K, if you can't run a 10K consistently, I mean, like get up every day in the morning and go run a 5K and come back before breakfast. If you can't do that, you can't run a 10K. If you can't run a 10K, you can't run a half marathon. If you can't run a half marathon, like every 3 days, I would say, yeah, go run a half marathon, come back before breakfast, and then go to work or school. You will not be able to run a marathon. So I think there is this part about doing a lot of hard work. That passion should have this hard work component to it, which I talked about early. Passion is great, but you need to put in the hard work. You may be passionate about running, but there's a lot of boring days when you have to run. There may be days when it's raining, when it's hot, when it's cold. You still have to run. You may say that day, oh yeah, I don't like to run in this weather. I don't like to run when it's wet. I don't like to run when it's like hot, like 48 degrees. But you said you were passionate about running. So every passion, I think, has built into it a lot of hard work, a lot of mundane things, right? Mundane meaning the
Yeah,
boring, the day-to-day things which you have to do, right? Even if you get married, you're like, oh, I'm so passionate about this girl and I'm going to marry her for the rest of my life. 50, 60 years is a long time. It's not always going to be passionate things you're doing. Sometimes it's just the boring things, dal chawal things you're doing. Like, you still have to do that. And I think I think our generation, maybe a little bit
sorry, sir.
younger generation looks at the Instagram and the movies and thinks that life is all like do your passionate things, but no, lot of it is hard work. I think the key is number one, but I think what the students trying to say is basically I need to generally like what I'm doing, generally, and within that I need to find my passion. I'm an electrical engineer. You want to be a coder. You want to do AI, ML, data analytics, whatever you want to, a mechatronics person. I generally like this field. Basically, on a day-to-day basis, there may be a lot of boring, mundane things, but overall, I'm moving the field forward. I'm helping with my passion things. So I think that part is sometimes difficult to understand when you're young. That just because you're passionate about something, that doesn't mean there are not any boring parts to it.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of mundane thing. Even you, when you're doing this stuff, some of the times you're probably bored also. Like, yeah, everything I do this every day and call this guy 7 times and he's not replying to my messages and what questions to ask him. The voice is not good. My computer is breaking down. So there's a lot of boring things. Even something you are passionate about. So I really like to tell our students, I do that with my daughter also. I say, listen, there's a lot of boring things in life, but you have to do it. Somebody has to do it.
So, there's a learning from my mother that you have to be passionate enough in your life, no matter you are intelligent or not, no matter you are hardworking or not, because when you are passionate, you find your own ways. So, for me, you can find your passion beyond your academics. So, do you believe that students can find their
Yes,
passion outside the academic work? How important it is for students to explore interests outside the classrooms? Mhm.
100%. Not only your mother is absolutely right. See, I always feel this work related thing takes only a small
Mhm.
portion of your life. It's an opportunity to do your life's work. And that is why a liberal education is very important. That's why you need to learn about humanity, sociology, history, do many different things, 100%. And also engineers, I mean, if you know about engineering, we talk about we are left brain people. You know, we are logical, we are rational, very objective, very focused. But there's a right brain in all of us where we need to focus on the finer arts of life, the compassion, the beauty, the humor, and all these other things. And I think that you have to explore outside.
Absolutely.
You have to do, I don't know how to say it, but uh, that's why I keep telling people you only have 20 hours of classroom engineering, or say 25. You still have a lot of hours. Go join a photography club, join a
Yes.
dramatics club, join a essay competition, join a running club, do anything. Go hiking with people, and don't go hiking with your
Hmm.
friends only. Go people from
Yes.
arts and law and other things, because you need to expand your horizons, and then you may find a certain passion there also. You may say, you know what, engineering is good, I'm working hard, I'm doing this fantastic, but let me go give to
Hmm.
the community. Maybe I want to work in a small school and teach students on the Saturdays and Sundays how to speak English, or raise money for poor students to get scholarships in college. So, so I think this part you have to develop, and it's absolutely essential. And I think if you can do that, you can have balance in your life. Otherwise, you may become just too one-sided. You need a well-rounded personality. So it's not just the engineering, technology,
Hmm.
objective stuff. You want the humanities, the social sciences, you know, the compassionate part of you to also flourish. So you will be a well-rounded human being. 100% follow your what your mother
Thank
said.
you, sir. Yes, I will. So, the very kind of advice I want to take from you, advice for the future. What final advice would you give to the current future engineer students about importance of finding and pursuing their passion? How can they avoid getting lost in the noise of stay in the rat race?
I think many of the things we've already talked about separately. Okay, like the part about practice, finding, the curriculum is in a place. Don't look at your
Mhm.
professors for all the information. Look outside, and as what your mother said, there's a lot of other things outside of engineering. You need to find balance in all of that. But one thing I would add to this in a way to summarize it is, first, you are the master of your own destiny. You can't blame anybody else. So you have to work hard. So don't complain. Figure out what you have to do and do it. There's enough advice going around. You talked about your generation knows about Ikigai, the book, and your podcast. There are many other things. People telling people how to do their find their wisdom, find their passion, and everything else. But now the challenge I find is many students is they hear about all of this, and then the execution part is where they are a little
Yes,
bit
sir.
backward. The challenge, not just for students, for all of us, even me, is there are many distractions
Yes.
in our lives. Our whole life seems to be designed to distract me only, right? There's websites, there's Twitter now, or X, there's the infinite scrolling on my Instagram. Wherever I go, Facebook, wherever I go, it's like forever and ever and ever. And then if I judge not just the people I follow, then it says, oh, you may be interested in following these people. It's right. Everywhere I go, they want you to eat something more food and buy some other food, buy different things. Our whole culture is designed to distract you. But if you want to find a passion and ultimately peace
Hmm.
of mind, ultimately it is peace of mind. We're thinking that if you're passionate about something, doing something, you'll find
Yes,
contentment
sir.
in your life.
Absolutely, sir.
Our last step in our dharma, artha, kama, moksha, chaturvida is moksha is more like samadhi, is like contentment. I am at peace with myself. I'm at peace with what I do. I'm at peace with what I have. I don't need. And to get that, you need to see, oh, I'm actually quite happy. I'm actually very lucky. And I feel that I got very lucky. I have great advisors, great parents, great family. So I think our students should also feel that way. I think they're very fortunate to be in a great
Yes.
school. You know, it's an upper middle class college. You would agree where we are. So they should be feel very confident, and then they have to put in the hard work. Nobody is going to give them a magic pill. Read this book. Read this. little blurb, and you will be done. It's a lot of hard
Yes,
work.
absolutely. So, moving forward, now that you stepped down as a dean, what are your personal passion and plans moving forward? How do you see yourself in upcoming years?
Okay, yeah, I have to say, it's the first time after like 40 years, 35 years, we actually
Yes,
have free
sir.
time. you know so I had started working
Mm-hmm.
on a lot of books before, but work always takes priority, and I could never finish my book. So I was writing for a long time a book called the Bhagavad Gita in 700
Mm-hmm.
tweets. The Bhagavad Gita I found is a amazing book. Everybody should read it, irrespective of your religion. And I found that the copies, translation which are available out there were very difficult for people in my generation, your generation, to read and understand and to like. So I started writing my own, and it took me a long time. So because now I have time free, I could finally finish my book, and I've given it to
Mm-hmm.
Penguin for review. So I'll be going to Delhi, I think, in the next week or 2 weeks, maybe even
Mm-hmm.
later this week. I don't know. I'm working on my sketching right now to
Mm-hmm.
discuss this further. I'm also publishing that book as a self-publishing. I think it's an excellent book.
Thank you so much, Dr. Arun, sir, for having a
Yes.
conversation with me and with the students through this podcast. Thank you so much. I appreciate your initiative, even having a busy schedule. Thank you so much, sir.
No problem, Swatandra. Enjoyed it. Wish you all the best. I enjoyed discussing with you through and to our students. Anytime any of our students want anything, let me know, and we'll always talk it through. I'm always available. I wish you all the best for this channel you're doing,
Thank
and
you, sir.
anything I can do to help you, please let me know. And thank you
Thank you
again for
so
having
much.
me.